This is another episode of Decking Sport Show. We have Nuruddin Yusuf Alawo in the building, a real hard fans of Barcelona FC. So tell us, how long have you been supporting Barcelona as a football club?
From the day when I saw Barca playing with Arsenal in Champions League final. That was about
2006.
2006. So it was a lovely game and very impressive. I'm so impressed about the way Barca play Arsenal, because then I could remember when Barcelona is being suffering from the hierarchy of Real Madrid, because Real Madrid dominates La Liga for like 3 seasons or 4 seasons, if I'm right. So those days, Barca were in a financial problem in order to sign a very good player, where Madrid have been signing all over the classic player all over the world. That era, I could remember Madrid have a player like David Beckham, Carlos, Rubio. So Barcelona were struggling to sign a player which is Ronaldinho. So it got so good when Barca have that kind of player in their squad. Barca begin to gain their form. They begin to gain their form in the sense that Ronaldinho fits into that system of playing. So that season, I could remember Barcelona did not make any chance of getting to Champions League final or whatsoever. But I could remember the following season, Barcelona got that chance to enter Champions League final. Then I wasn't passionate about Barcelona, but the way Ronaldinho and other players play, I was so marvelous impressive. So that's when I started supporting Barcelona. Thank you.
Yeah, I can remember that match, 2006. I watched the match. So what really happened is that Belati scored the equalizing goal, and no, that he scored the winning goal. Then Eto now do the finishing. That is anyway, by the way. So okay, now Barca is into normally developing and the fielders team. They believe in homegrown players. You know, understand? Like Messi, Xavi, Iniesta, and now recently we now have Pedri, Gavi, and so on and so forth of them now, and Lamine Yamal. Okay, now going forward for Barcelona to 2005, 2006 season. So what do you think that will coming from Barca? Are they going to add more players, or they are good with their squad? Because I heard that Deco, when they asked Deco about signing a striker, I said no, we'll have Lewandowski. So what do you think that will be coming out from Barcelona this new season that is coming up?
Well, optimistically, I believe Barcelona, they are in a place of bringing some kind of confidence back to the Barcelona, because about 3 seasons ago we lost those confidence. We lost it totally. We don't have a player that can give us the quality, the pattern of playing which we like. So as it is now, coming about 2 more seasons coming to this season that we are heading to, 2 more seasons, I believe Barca is still going to have a classic player which can generate a kind of style of play we are looking into. Thank God we have a good coach, and thank God we have a sporting director, which is Deco. They are working so marvelously to make sure that the team comes together and to be strong. But this season, I still appreciate the way they coordinate the team, because this team is not well finished. We can talk about the striker. That striker we are talking about is not well balanced to us, because we are seeing that Lewandowski is coming to an end where the age is no more there. The age is no more there. Everybody see that obviously. So bringing a striker that can give us more 3 years to this year, that will give us the belief that we believe when we have Eto, when we have somebody like Eto. You know, that era when we have somebody like Eto, we all believe that we have somebody there. But Ronaldinho, okay, look at this now. When Ronaldinho got injured, you know, as Ronaldo got injured, we're supposed to have a replacement, which is a young striker that will give us that will also lead us in terms of striking role. But in that asset, I mean, in that chance, we have that absence of that kind of striker. So for me, I believe that Ronaldo have to be there, but not as a standard, as a well-balanced nine for Barcelona. We need a striker like Lewandowski. We need a striker like Alvarez, which he can still guarantee us for like 4 years more. and a striker that can also fit into our life. I mean, a style of play, which Barcelona also believe when we have Eto. So thank you.
Okay, like as you all said, I hope you know that Barcelona are still in a difficult situation signing players financially. So, are you advising them to sign a striker, which they have? I know they have Lewandowski, Ferran Torres. They have Lewandowski and Ferran Torres there, and also Lamine Yamal can also score goal. Rafinha can also play as a nine. You understand? So, are you advising them to sign a striker instead of signing a defense line like two central defense like 5 and 6, and the level which they really need, they need to upgrade from either to find somebody that will push Kunde and Ebade, because I don't think they have a capable replacement for them.
Thank you for that question. I really love that kind of question because I've been asking myself for day one that how can we manipulate, I mean, how can we make a maneuver where we can sign a player with the situation of financial problem Baka is facing now. The management, they are working so it's very good, and bringing some kind of a system where it can be conducive for them to sign a player without any financial rules. Now, for me, I would prefer Baka to look into a defensive line, because if you could remember the match we played against Inter, which is semi-final, the first leg and the second leg look the same scenario. Which I'm not even convinced with the way things happen then, because a team like Barcelona, when you are conceding 2 goals ahead, you should be able to look into what is happening, what is bringing these difficulties for you to defense without conceding 2 goals before you now bring back your striking goal back to them to level up the 2-2. The same thing happened first leg, same thing happened second leg. So in this scenario, I will believe that Barca have to look into their defensive line instead of looking to their striking role. Because Lewandowski, I can remember in the era where Barcelona played with first nine, where Barca played with first nine, Lionel Messi, everybody believe Lionel Messi is playing as a nine.
During
the Guardiola regime and Luis Enrique. I believe that moment we don't have a standard nine. That period we don't have a standard nine, which is we believe on Messi.
Luis Enrique have Suarez.
Yes, but when we have Guardiola, we don't have somebody like that. We only operate. There's Eto, but the way everything is going, then we believe that Messi is the major player that we look up to.
And the letter have the Villa. He's a talisman.
Even the Villa doesn't play as a nine. We believe that he's operating from the flank.
But he's a nine.
Yeah, but we can call it nine, but it's not West Ham nine.
But they see, Guardiola have nine. Although he don't play them often, they have Thierry Henry, abundant striker in his team. Then Thierry Henry, later David Villa, then Eto was this thing. Then they now later brought Fabregas.
Right. Then what I'm trying to say is that the system where Barca is playing, we don't even believe on we have nine. We believe that we have a flank. When we have Messi operating as a flank, then we also have David Villa, where he's also operating as a flank. Because David Villa, initially where we signed David Villa is Valencia. So there, you know that somebody is playing as a nine there. I forgot the player that is playing as a nine in Valencia. David Villa is a 7, standby 7, which operates as from flank. Barca just look into a area where they can consolidate a player that can play as a 9, which they bring David Villa into that system. So, but we're so good. We believe that Messi is the major player that we are looking up to. Then, so we are not even contemplating on looking for a striker that can play as a 9. Or they can play as a first 9. We are even looking into a player where can be operating either 9 or first 9. But as Barca as it is now, we believe that we are not even in the problem of striker. We are in the problem of looking a place where we can defend our goal. It's not there's no team that can say that I will concede and I will score more. I will concede and I will score more. There will be a place where we will not be able to score, but you can only be conceiving. That is when you face Inter Milan, almighty Inter Milan. They play well, but we supersede them. We are superior. We play against them in the sense that They won't even well confident in their home. They are scared of conceiving. They are playing defensive while we are attacking them. Even after we are level up the goals that we conceive, they are still playing defensive, which means they were contemplating of playing penalty shootout. But we are not even going to that stage of playing penalty shootout. We want to win them either the extra time or the 90 minutes full dot. But with the games going like that, Barcelona don't have the defense. It happened against Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid scored us 2 goals ahead. We level up with the 2 goals, and at the end of the day, we won them 4-2. The same thing happened against Real Madrid. El Clasico, almighty El Clasico, where people believe that Barca cannot even hold Madrid, when Madrid is playing 2-0 against Barcelona. But at the same time, Barca still do the same thing. The same thing they did to Atletico Madrid, the same thing they did to Inter Milan, both home and away. They did it the same thing. So meanwhile, we have a striking player. If striking players, they can be able to do whatever we want. But the defense, Pedri cannot defense. De Jong cannot defense. They are all those two players. They are creative midfielder. They can only create chance. They can only move forward, but make sure that they can collect the ball back or make the possession back to where they belongs to. It's very difficult for somebody like Pedri, somebody like De Jong. So I don't know that Barca has somebody like Thomas Partey, which I believe is the most standby for in Premiership. Thomas Partey, if Barca can be able to get a player like Thomas Partey, I believe everything is well settled. Everything is well settled. Thomas Partey, Barcelona, you need somebody like Thomas Partey to balance the team, because I can only see that Martinez as a 5 and 6 with Kubasi. Is it yes, Kubasi? Two of them, they are playing 5 and 6. They are trying their best. I give kudos to Martinez as a key role for that defensive line, and also Kubasi as a very young player that can be able to adapt in kind of a way by when the pressure is much, against Barcelona, which player as young as Kubasi in the world of European football, they can withstand that Kubasi as it is now. At age of that 20, is it 17 or 18 years old? He's playing like that, open up and bringing back the tendency into the racing line. I think those two players, they are marvelous. Then in that flank, which is Conde, when Conde got injured, did you know that Barcelona could not have a replacement for Conde, for goodness sake? And this guy got injured. Bode also got injured. No replacement for Bode. I think that is the only lucky this Inter Milan have then, because I believe that Conde cannot commit that kind of error this Martins committed when they are having 3-2 ahead. When they are having 3-2 ahead, additional time, which is 3 minutes or 4 minutes at this time. This Martins caused that a gracious mistake which Barcelona is facing now. Because had it been that Barcelona played final, PSG will have looked away to escape that Champions League final. Thank you.
Okay, I can see you are very passionate about Barcelona.
Very.
You said quite a lot.
Very.
You understand. So I just wanted to have one thing back in mind, that Hans Flick, which is a Barcelona coach, is not just like a defensive coach. He always play offensive, attack. You understand? So if you notice him when he was coaching at Bayern Munich, he's always score more goal and he always concede a goal. So you don't have back in your hand that scoring Barca or Barca conceding a goal is not going to change anytime soon, because that is one pattern of football. They always like to play free football, score me and score you. I will score you more, you understand? And I will concede lesser, you understand? So thank you, Mr. Yusuf. I hope that Barcelona coach have heard all you said, and Barcelona directors and the board, Deco. So they will react and take few points from this interview. So thank you. Join us more for more interview. Thank you, Mr. Yusuf.
Thank you, Mr. I'm fine.
Over.